Hi everyone, this is Teacher Jen from Camglish.com and welcome to another fun and exciting lesson from Exploring English Book 6. This is by Tim Harris and Ellen Rowe. We are going to start our lesson on this exercise. We have to complete the sentences using should have, must have, or might have. Let's have some examples. I was late to work this morning. I should have left the house earlier. Anne didn't go home after work. She might have gone to the park or the library. Mr. Bascom is very tired. He must have worked very hard. Jenny said Otis' picnic was the best one she'd ever been to. She must have had a good time. Fred would have won the pie-eating contest if he had taken his sister's advice. He should have listened to her. We called Nancy last night, but she wasn't home. She might have gone to a movie. Mr. Golo can't get in the house. She must have lost her keys. It rained this morning and Sam got wet while he was walking to work. He should have taken his umbrella. Johnny shouldn't have gotten into a fight with Barry Craxton. He might have gotten hurt. It's too bad Anne wasn't able to finish her song. She might have won the contest if she hadn't left the stage. Ed made a bad impression at the job interview because he wasn't dressed properly. He should have worn a suit and tie. Only a few people came to Victoria's party Saturday night. She must have been very disappointed. Linda got into trouble for staying out late. She should have come home early or earlier. Now students, I want you to answer this activity again. To do that, you can pause this video for a while and copy these sentences on a separate sheet of paper. When you are done, you can press play so that we can continue on our lesson. Remember, you have to use these phrases to complete the following sentences. Now let's go on. We have a discussion here. The following paragraphs refer to the events that took place at the disco club the other night when Johnny went to see Anne take part in the singing contest. As you may recall, that night, Johnny got into a fight with Barry Craxton, who was later thrown out of the club by the manager. What do you think about the actions of these characters? Give your own opinions. So I'm going to read all these paragraphs. Please listen to me and think of your opinion. To begin with, Johnny didn't have to go looking for Anne at the disco club. He could have tried to forget her. He might have gotten her off his mind by reading a book or by going to a movie. But he felt that he had to see her and went to the disco club. Do you think Johnny did the right thing? Why or why not? What would you have done if you had been Johnny? There are several things Johnny could have done when Barry threw the tomato at Anne. He could have called the manager. He could have thrown a tomato at Barry's girlfriend. That is, if he had had a tomato. Or he could have left the disco club without doing anything. But he decided to fight Barry. Do you think he did the right thing? Why or why not? What would you have done in the same situation? There are several things Barry could have done when Johnny came up and challenged him to a fight. He could have ignored Johnny. He could have thrown another tomato at Anne. Or he could have called the manager. Instead, he just stood there and laughed at Johnny. Do you think Barry did the right thing? Why or why not? What would you have done if you had been here or Barry? Anne didn't have to leave the stage when Barry threw the tomato at her. She could have stayed and finished her song. She could have called the manager. Or she could have picked up the tomato and thrown it back at Barry. Instead, she ran over and hit Barry with a guitar. Do you think Anne did the right thing? Why or why not? What would you have done if you had been Anne? The manager didn't have to throw Barry out of the club for hitting Anne with a tomato and fighting with Johnny. He could have said to Barry, "You throw a tomato very well." He could have told Johnny and Barry to shake hands and be friends. Or he could have ignored the situation altogether. But he knew that Barry was responsible for all the trouble and made him leave the club. Do you think the manager did the right thing? Why or why not? What would have you done if you had been the manager? So again, these are the following situations and you have to give your own opinions. You can pause this video for a while to read these again, or if you want, you can copy them on a separate sheet of paper. Now let's go into free response, and this is your homework. These are some questions and you can copy them and you can answer them on your own. Do you have any special talents or abilities, such as singing, dancing, or playing a musical instrument? Have you ever taken part in a contest? Did you win? Have you ever given a party? What kind of preparations did you make? When was the last time you received a compliment? What was it for? Do you ever get into arguments? What do you argue about? What kinds of things make you nervous or uncomfortable? How do you relax? How do you keep in shape? Do you get much exercise? What is the best way to stay healthy? Okay, now I hope you would answer all these activities and you could learn something from them. Now this is the end of our lesson. I hope you learned something. This is Teacher Jen from Camglish.com saying goodbye and see you on your next video. Goodbye!